Now, the trick for these examples is having the right tool for the right job. And that all depends on what is given. So what is the measure of angle E? So the first thing I always want to look to see if it fits is the law of sines. Can I use the law of sines? And it doesn't look like initially I can, because I don't know angle E and I don't know side E. But the fun part of trig is that a lot of times you have to go through multiple steps in order to find what you want. And if I can find angle F, then angle E is simply a matter of subtraction. I have enough information to use law of sines to find F. I don't actually have enough information to even use the law of cosines. So, two-step problem. I need to find F, and then I can find E. So I'm going to start with the sine of F over its side, 4.88. That's equal to the sine of 66 over 6. Cross multiply and divide, and I end up with the sine of F equaling 0.74, which makes angle F, after I use my inverse, 47.7 degrees. So then angle E is equal to 180 minus 66 minus 47.7, which makes angle E a 66.3 degree angle. So just because at first it doesn't look like you have enough information doesn't mean that you can't solve the problem. Now, here's this word again, solve, and that means find everything, which is usually whatever three parts are missing. In this case, I have side, side, side. So, meaning I know the three sides. You have to use the law of cosines first, then you can use the law of sines, and then you can either use the law of sines or subtract to find your other angle. Okay, so that's our plan. You may start on any angle you want. So I'm going to go ahead and start with I, just because. Here's my bookend. So I'm going to, step 1. 6 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 5 times 4 times the cosine of I. So I applied the law of cosines. I'm going to work that out, and I'm going to have 36 is equal to 41 minus 40 cosine of I. Subtract 41 from both sides. Being very careful with my order of operations. Divide by 40, negative 40. Use my inverse feature, and I find out that I is 82.8 degrees. Step 2, I can now use the law of sines in either H or G. So let's go ahead and find H. So I can say the sine of H over 5 is equal to the sine of 82.8, which I just found, over 6. Cross multiply and divide, and you end up with the sine of H is equal to 5 sine of 82.8 divided by 6. Work that out, use your inverse. I find that sine of H is 0.83, and so H is 55.8 degrees. Then, so I did this one, I did this one. Now I can either use the law of sines again, or I can subtract from 180. And if I say 180 minus 55.8 minus 82.8, then angle G is equal to 41.4. And I have solved my triangle. If I go ahead and Look now at my next example. Again, I'm still solving, so I'm looking for all three parts. So I have to find angle I, angle U, and little side s. Now I have the side angle side situation. I do not have enough information to set up a law of sines. So again, I'm going to do law of cosines once, then I'm going to do the law of sines, and then I'm going to do the law of sines or subtract from 180 to find my other part. So my angle and its side opposite, s squared, is equal to 7.5 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 7.5 times 5 times the cosine of 85. So I have s squared is equal to 81.25 minus 75 cosine of 85. Again, I can't combine 81 and 75. This is being multiplied. So I have s squared is equal to 81.25 minus 6.54. S squared is equal to 74.7. Square root, s is 8.6. Now I can go ahead and use the law of sines on any of the angles or sides. So let's just find u. So I have the sine of 85 over 8.6 is equal to the sine of u over 7.5. Cross multiply and divide, and I end up with the sine of u being equal to 7.5 sine of 85 divided by 8.6. The sine of u is equal to 0.87. Inverse, u is a 60.3 degree angle. Then angle I is going to be equal to 180 minus 85 minus 60.3. And that will be a grand total of 34.7. Go ahead and practice those problems and tune in to part 4.